So you guys gave me these.
Right.
This piece right here, because it's small, I could do a map scan of it in the shortest.
What is that?
That's the garden shaft inner lining,
Okay.
the wood pieces.
Yeah.
After centuries of mystery and decades of relentless digging, the moment has finally arrived. The latest excavation on Oak Island has reportedly yielded a discovery so significant it has paid off big time, potentially solving the 228-year-old enigma once and for all. Many people are crazy about this centuries-old treasure hunt, but this latest news changes everything. The Lagina brothers and their dedicated team have apparently unearthed something that goes beyond mere artifacts or tantalizing clues. What they found could rewrite history, confirming a legend that has captivated and confounded searchers for generations. The island has finally given up one of its biggest secrets. When the drill hit gold, the team had long theorized that the garden shaft, a historic searcher shaft dating back to the late 1800s, might be the key to bypassing the booby-trapped flood tunnels that had thwarted all previous recovery attempts in the money pit. Using advanced sonic drilling and water testing, they identified a potential void, a hidden chamber located more than 160 feet below the surface. To put it mildly, this was their most promising lead in years. The decision was made to go all in, reinforcing the unstable shaft with steel caissons and beginning a meticulous foot-by-foot excavation.
To go down in that shaft and actually do some digging and maybe be part of unearthing an original tunnel would be incredibly gratifying.
What many overlooked was that this methodical, almost painfully slow approach was exactly what the island demanded. The moment of discovery reportedly came on a damp, overcast afternoon. The excavation team, operating a massive clamshell grab from the depths of the garden shaft, brought up a load of mud and clay that felt different. It was heavier, denser. As they carefully sifted through the material on the sorting table, a glint of something unnatural caught the eye of archaeologist Laird Niven. It wasn't a rock or a piece of old wood, it was metal. Not just any metal, but a small hand-hammered object that bore a strange, unfamiliar crest. The excitement was palpable, but it was only the beginning. The next grab from the same depth brought up something even more astonishing: waterlogged fragments of what appeared to be a leather-bound book or satchel. The thing nobody tells you about these deep earth discoveries is the smell. The air suddenly filled with an ancient organic scent, a mix of old wood, brine, and something else, something metallic and strangely sweet. It was the smell of something that hadn't been exposed to oxygen for centuries. This sensory detail, more than anything, confirmed they were onto something huge. The team immediately deployed a high-resolution borehole camera down the shaft, lowering it past the 160-foot mark. What appeared on the screen in the war room left everyone speechless. The camera had broken through into a small, man-made chamber no larger than 10 feet by 10 feet. And inside, nestled in the mud, were several large, dark, rectangular shapes.
I don't know if that's rock or wood, but it's immovable right there.
These weren't natural formations. They were chests. At least 3 of them, bound with what looked like iron straps, were clearly visible. One of the chests appeared to have been damaged, perhaps by the initial drilling, and from its broken corner, a cascade of small circular objects spilled out onto the chamber floor. Even through the murky water and the low-resolution feed, there was no mistaking what they were. Coins. Gold coins. The sheer number was impossible to guess, but it was more than just a handful. It was a hoard. This was the payoff everyone had dreamed of, the irrefutable proof that a significant treasure was indeed buried on Oak Island. After all the years of finding mere clues, a Spanish Maravedi here, a lead cross there, this was the jackpot. The immediate challenge became one of recovery. The chamber was flooded, and the stability of the surrounding earth was a major concern. The team couldn't just send divers down. The risk of collapse was too great. A plan was quickly formulated to use a combination of remote-operated robotic arms and specialized suction dredges to carefully extract the contents. The most shocking fact is the estimated value. While no official numbers have been released, experts who have seen the initial images speculate that if the chests are filled with gold coins from the 17th or 18th century, the value could easily run into the tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. For a team that had invested so much, this was the ultimate validation. It was proof that the stories were true, that the obsession was justified. The discovery sent a wave of excitement and caution through the team. They had found the treasure, but the island wasn't done with them yet. The booby-trapped flood tunnels were still a threat, and the delicate process of recovering these ancient artifacts without destroying them would be their greatest challenge yet. They found the treasure, but could they actually get it out? Ghost of the Money Pit. The incredible find in the garden shaft, you see, isn't just about gold. It's the culmination of a relentless 228-year-long saga of hope, heartbreak, and obsession. To truly understand why this discovery paid off big time, you have to look back at the long and often tragic history of Oak Island. The thing nobody tells you is that the island's mystery isn't just about what's buried, but about what the search has done to those who have tried to find it. Many people are crazy about the legend, but the reality for searchers has been a grueling battle against an island that seems to actively resist being understood. The story began in 1795 when a young man named Daniel McGinnis discovered a circular depression in the ground under an old oak tree. Noticing that a branch above had been sawn off, as if used for a hoist, he and two friends began to dig. Just a few feet down, they hit a layer of flagstones, and 10 feet below that, a platform of oak logs. Every 10 feet, they found another platform, a clear sign of a man-made structure of incredible depth. They had stumbled upon what would become known as the Money Pit.
Today is the last day, there's no question about it.
What they didn't know was that they were the first in a long line of searchers who would be drawn into one of the world's most enduring and frustrating mysteries. What many overlooked in those early days was the sheer complexity of the engineering. Later excavations revealed a sophisticated system of flood tunnels connected to the nearby Smith's Cove. These tunnels, which some believe were designed as a booby trap, would instantly flood the Money Pit with seawater whenever searchers dug too deep. It was a brilliant and deadly piece of 17th or 18th century engineering that has been the primary obstacle for every expedition since. The most shocking fact is that modern engineers, with all their advanced technology, have struggled to fully map and bypass this ancient security system. It suggests the original depositors were incredibly skilled and well-funded. Over the next 2 centuries, numerous syndicates and treasure hunters tried their luck. They threw everything they had at the Money Pit: steam-powered pumps, massive drilling rigs, and teams of miners. Yet every attempt ended in failure, often with the collapse of the shaft and the loss of millions of dollars in investment. The legend grew, and so did the theories. Was it the lost treasure of the pirate Captain Kidd? The crown jewels of France smuggled out during the Revolution? Or perhaps the most tantalizing theory of all, the sacred relics of the Knights Templar, including the Holy Grail itself, hidden away after the order was disbanded in the 14th century. This history is what gives the new discovery its weight. The Lagina brothers were acutely aware of the curse said to plague the island, a legend that 7 men must pass away before the treasure would be found. Before their arrival, 6 men had already lost their lives in various accidents related to the search. This grim tally has always loomed over the project, a constant reminder of the high stakes involved. To put it mildly, this wasn't just a hobby, it was a serious and sometimes dangerous undertaking. The team's own journey has been a masterclass in persistence. For over a decade, viewers have watched them unearth small but significant clues that kept the hope alive. There was the Spanish 8 Maravedi coin dating to 1652 found on the swamp's edge.
One is actually found in a known Viking Age or 10th century farmstead.
The coconut fibers discovered deep underground, a material not native to Nova Scotia, suggesting a connection to tropical lands. And perhaps most compellingly, the lead cross with potential Templar connections found in the mud of Smith's Cove. Each of these finds was a small victory, a breadcrumb on a long and winding trail. But none of them were the treasure itself. The reported discovery in the garden shaft changes the entire narrative. It moves the story from one of searching to one of recovery. It transforms the question from, "Is there anything down there?" to "What exactly is it and how much is there?" This shift is monumental, After decades of chasing shadows and interpreting vague clues, the team reportedly has tangible, undeniable proof in their hands. The coins, the chests, these are not items open to interpretation. They are the treasure. The payoff isn't just financial, it's emotional and historical, a vindication for every person who ever believed in the Oak Island mystery. The weight of all those who came before, the failures, the tragedies, the unwavering hope, now rests on the shoulders of the current team as they begin the delicate process of bringing this 200-year-old secret into the light. This find confirms the treasure, but does it confirm the theory? A new beginning. The discovery of chests filled with gold in the garden shaft is a monumental payoff, but you see, the true treasure may not be the gold itself, but the story it tells. The thing nobody tells you is that the contents of those chests could finally provide a definitive answer to the island's greatest question: who buried the treasure and why? For Rick Lagina and many others, the hunt has always been more about the history than the money. Now, with tangible artifacts reportedly being recovered, the focus shifts to deciphering the clues and connecting them to one of the most compelling theories of all: the Knights Templar. What many overlooked is the growing body of evidence that points towards a Templar connection. The lead cross found in Smith's Cove, the mysterious stone carvings on Lot 15, and even the complex engineering of the flood tunnels all bear hallmarks that some experts have linked to the secretive medieval order. The Knights Templar were a wealthy and powerful Catholic military order founded in the 12th century. The most shocking fact is that when they were brutally suppressed in 1307, their immense fleet and legendary treasure vanished without a trace. The theory goes that a contingent of Templar knights escaped the persecution and sailed to the New World, using Oak Island as a secret repository for their most sacred relics and wealth. If the coins and artifacts recovered from the garden shaft date back to the pre-Columbian era, or if they bear Templar insignia, it would be more than just a wow factor.
That's really old.
I've seen that shape before. I swear that'll tell the tale how old it is, that shape.
It would be one of the most significant historical discoveries of our time. It would prove that Europeans made it to North America and established a sophisticated presence long before Columbus, a claim that has been debated by historians for centuries. To put it mildly, this wouldn't just rewrite a chapter of history, it would force a complete reevaluation of the entire narrative of New World discovery. And you can see this everywhere in the team's cautious excitement. They know they are on the brink of something truly profound. The initial artifacts reportedly recovered already hint at this possibility. The small, hand-hammered metal object with its strange crest is currently undergoing analysis. Experts are comparing it to known Templar symbols and other medieval European insignia. If it can be positively identified, it would provide a direct link between the treasure and its depositors. Similarly, the waterlogged leather fragments are being carefully preserved, with hopes that any remaining text or markings can be recovered. Even a single legible inscription could be the key to unlocking the entire mystery. The potential for a document detailing the treasure's origin and purpose is the team's ultimate hope. This discovery also shifts the focus of the entire Oak Island operation. The era of speculative drilling and searching for the where is over. Now begins the meticulous, almost surgical process of archaeological recovery and preservation. This new phase will require a different set of skills, bringing in more historians, symbologists, and preservation experts. The challenge is no longer about finding the treasure, but about understanding its story without destroying the fragile context in which it has rested for centuries. The weight of this responsibility is immense. But the question remains, is this the final answer or just the beginning of a new chapter? The garden shaft has yielded its first big secret, but what else does the island hold? The money pit, for all its dangers and frustrations, is still there. Are there other chambers, other deposits waiting to be found? The team has always believed that the treasure is not concentrated in one single spot, but rather spread across multiple strategically hidden locations. This first major find might just be the key that unlocks a map to the rest. As the team begins the painstaking process of recovery, the world watches with bated breath. The treasure is real. The payoff is here. But the final truth of Oak Island, The complete story of why this incredible hoard was buried on a remote island in Nova Scotia is a secret that is still slowly, carefully being brought into the light. Will this discovery finally silence the skeptics, or is it just the beginning of an even bigger mystery? Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.